What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Locks, and Locks NBA. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of YouTube woods. Just watched perhaps one of the worst halves of basketball ever played by mankind. My eyes are scarred. I believe producer Jacob's eyes are scarred. Nobody is having fun watching that basketball game except for maybe, I don't know, who's some sicko that would really like that? Nobody is who I came up with. I couldn't think of a single person off the top of my head. I don't know. I almost said Bob Knight. That seems wrong. He's just throwing a chair somewhere. Rip, my dude. He's just living his life because he's got to know. I don't know. Let's just talk some NBA, shall we? We've got two games on hand once again in the NBA streets, just like we did here. I'm looking forward to this Golden State Lakers game, so I'm going to get out of here as fast as I humanly possibly can. And you, if you live in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, or Virginia, should go over as fast as you can to Bet365. You simply bet $1 when you deposit $10 or more at the site at the link below. Get yourself $200 to fire up in the good old bonus bet street. Yes, you're getting $200 in bonus bets at Bet365. You can wager those on anything. And hey, that $1 bet doesn't need to even win. It could be on anything you want. Like, I don't know, the over of this basketball game, which is surely not going to happen here at this point. I didn't bet it, so it doesn't matter. Everything's all right so far. But let's just get to it, shall we? Two games. I got things to do. You got places to be. Let's get to the picks. Game one, game one of our night, game 6 of the series. Oh, producer Jacob, I apologize ahead of time. Of course, he's filling in on this NBA video, the diehard Boston Celtics fan that he is. Little does he know I've been shorting them behind his back. Yes, Boston, 2.5-point favorites on the road here in Philly. Let's go through the carnage, shall we? Al Horford, bro, 0 for 7 from 3. A pretty useless amount of defense going up against Joel Embiid. It was the worst that Al Horford's looked all series long. He's pretty much been a stalwart for Boston. Probably the most important person on the floor because of his defensive responsibility to Joel Embiid. Didn't go very well. 33 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists for Joel Embiid. And on the flip side, 25 minutes of Al Horford, 0 for 7 from 3, 0 for 7 from the field, a minus 18. In fact, no starter for the Celtics was better than minus 15. In fact, who had the best plus minus of any player on the Celtics in game 5? You guessed it, Peyton Pritchard. Why wouldn't it be Peyton Pritchard with a plus 14? Good God Almighty. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. You know what? It's just going to be said again that Boston, I've said this constantly throughout this playoffs, and it showed up in it showed up in Boston game 5 against Atlanta. They ended up eking their way through that game 6, and then, well, into this series, I don't think they're that good. I think they're an overvalued team by the marketplace. However, it seems as though the public's going to go right back to the well here with the Boston Celtics, and we've already seen this line. It opened at 1.5, already moved to 2.5. I had the feeling that might happen, and I'm glad that I showed patience for once in my life. Patience, my friends. It's a virtue. It's what my dad said. I try to listen to him sometimes when it comes to that stuff. Smart guy. But either way, we're going to start with the lean section of this one. And shout out Philadelphia. They came in and they just knocked the socks off the Celtics. Celtics were not ready for that basketball game in any way, shape, or form. And it was nice to see Tyrese Maxey rejoin the usage department. In fact, second most shot attempts behind Joel Embiid, and I kind of like it that way. I like when you have James Harden sharing the floor with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, and him sharing the basketball. Double-digit assists, getting those 10 assists, 8 rebounds to go with 17 points. That is how he operates. That's how he does things. And therefore, as I look at this lean that we start off with, it is Tyrese Maxey over 18.5 points. The first play that I'm thinking about here, I think that's a pretty low allotment if we're going to be seeing that usage going forward. Now, it's still up in the air as far as, like, do I expect 21 shot attempts right out of the gate? No, I do not. He got in a rhythm from 3, 6 for 12. If he shoots 50% from 3, it's going to be tough sledding for the Boston Celtics because, well, they kind of need some of that output from their guards, which has just not been there. Brogdon, White, where you guys at? Oh, and, the guy who's supposed to be working, Marcus Smart, but that's conversation for, well, the postseason. After the season it is, because, that contract's not going anywhere. But Tyrese Maxey, over 18.5 points. Currently, one of my favorite plays on the board, number 3, in fact, but I have not pulled the trigger yet. However, I did pull the trigger on this one. Al Horford, talked about it. He can't possibly play worse basketball than we saw in that game 5, and he's still required of this basketball team to be out there. They don't really have the option to go small when you have Joel Embiid in the middle. You just don't get that luxury. And Robert Williams, try as he might, it's just not been the typical Robert Williams, the typical Time Lord that we've seen the last couple of years out of Texas A&M. He's just simply losing a step defensively in some spots. You don't get the same type of offensive output. Absolutely no jump shot. So there's that. Guy hasn't attempted a three-pointer all season long. You can't stretch the floor with him offensively out there. So it's just a tough situation where you have to play Al Horford as many minutes as he can possibly handle. 16.5 PRA is really, really low to account for that. And Boston, you got to give a tick up to every single starter here. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I know that they were already playing at max capacity. I mean, he had 43, 47, 40 minutes from Jason Tatum his last 3, the 47 being with overtime, the 5 extra in the frame there. But the fact remains, you could see 44 plus minutes from him, Brown, from Al Horford even, if he can stay out of foul trouble, which is a big if in a lot of spots. But 16.5, a really low PRA number, considering 9.4 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, and 3 assists per game, pretty decent passing big, in just 30 minutes per game, excuse me, during the regular season. So therefore, 16.5, definitely think it needs to be a part of your card. I've got it for half a unit right now, but if you've been watching this, if you've been riding the wave, and it's been a really good wave between Philadelphia and the Lakers, well, I don't want to jinx it. We're going into game 5 tonight, but we have been on the plus money side, or sorry, plus money off if you're firing up the money line, but we've been taking the plus points at all of these spots, and it has yet to fail us with these dogs. Yes, these dogs in the series, the Lakers, home favorites, I suppose, but Philadelphia, home dog. Gotta say, it's going to be loud. It's going to be ruckus. It's going to be pressure-packed for both teams. I'm looking forward to watching it, but you give me 2.5 based off of what I just saw, that defensive output that we just saw by the Boston Celtics. Hard not to at least take the points. It can be a competitive game. You still have outs if Boston ends up winning this one, pushing it to a game 7, which more than in the range of outcomes. In fact, that's the expected win percentage, north of 55%. That's what happens when you're a 2.5 point favorite, even on the road here. But I'm going to be backing Philadelphia per usual, plus 2.5, going right back to the well, my lock from this one. Quick little reminder, I know we're right between games. It's going to be a quick, it's like the intermission when you go to the theater, when you're a nice theater-going individual. Well, it is for 4 states here: Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia. Bet365. Sign up now in the video description box below. You click on the link, deposit $10 or more, bet $1, get $200 in bonus bets. Simple as that. Nothing else needs to be added other than if you're 21 and over. That's the only people that it applies to. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all. I flew as fast as I could because I'm excited for this one, as are you. Game 6, Denver, Phoenix. Let's get to it. In the middle of this little hot streak that we've been on here, we have been showing a little bit of discipline, even when sometimes it hasn't worked for us. Now, we've had how many discussions over the last couple months, basically since the calendar flipped over on this program, about Nikola Jokic triple doubles and how they have been insanely profitable throughout. We rode this thing from plus 350, which was so egregious as the calendar turned, as we started to see Jamal Murray get healthier, as we started to see Jamal Murray add more minutes, because it created easy assist opportunities for one Nikola Jokic. And sure enough, go to game 5, complete beat down there, 29, 13, and 12. Wish we had still pulled the trigger, even if plus 140 that we were getting on it. I mean, we were hitting this thing for plus 285 2 games ago. We locked that thing up. That was beautiful. And again, we've kind of had this series down in terms of props throughout. Cleaned the board under Devin Booker PRA, under Kevin Durant PRA, under of the game, 118-102, way under that, close to right around 229. It was incredible. Well, it went from 229 to 227. That's where it closed at. But either way, we're looking at 226.5 this time around, and I at least just want to throw this out there. We'll throw the lean out there immediately here. Nothing to really hide, or I don't know. I'm just going to talk you through all these scenarios, but I do think this total is still just a tiny bit too high. it's been inflated for how inferno hot both of these teams were from the field. We went through the box scores. Devin Booker shot 80% from the field back-to-back games in Game 3 and Game 4. And when you're shooting it, 18 to 30 times like you would expect Devin Booker to be shooting it here, if he does it again, so be it. Congratulations, you beat me. But they've not been getting tons of great minutes, on the road especially. But these bench pieces, they found a little something with Terrence Ross, 3 for 4 from 3 last game. But you know what you're getting defensively from Terrence Ross? Not a whole hell of a lot. So there you go. Just a difficult spot for the Suns here as Chris Paul already been ruled out once more. It's going to be a tough holding serve, trying to send this back over to Denver. But every single game so far in this series has had a home winner. I think it definitely is leaning towards that direction. I have no play on this game, though. We're going to just continue with the Philly love, which, again, makes me sick. I don't like that city. You guys burned down your city when you beat my Minnesota Vikings. And go Birds, that whole thing, it pissed me off. But either way, we continue on our merry way. Let's talk more props. And PRA, it's adjusted a little bit for Kevin Durant and Devin Booker coming off of that last one. They are the home favorites here, 3-point favorites. It makes more sense that you're projecting them for more offensive output. That's how it works. Checks and balances. There we are. But 31.5 for points. I understand that he might play 44 minutes again. He's got to also stay out of foul trouble, which has kind of been a thing for him here. But assuming Devin Booker continues to see a lot of these crazy defensive assignments starting to get doubled along with Kevin Durant, I do expect him to not shoot 80% from 3, and that creates, or 80% from the floor, that is. And I think that creates a nice room, a little bit of room, considering this is inside of standard juice on the under of 31.5 points. Does it feel good? The same way I talked about it before. I know people like to bet overs. I know you like to bet overs. That feels comfortable. It feels nice, but the right plays are the right plays. We shorted Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and this game total last time across the board worked out in our favor. In fact, just been smashing this entire NBA week. I think it continues with Devin Booker here. I expect the usage to be there. I expect the minutes to be there. Even with that, though, 31.5 for a guy that just started to knock down the 3 at a pretty high clip. He's a 37.7% three-point shooter for the season. And yet in this series, he's had games, the last 4, 50% from 3, 62.5% from 3, 75% from 3, 57.1% from 3. This is unsustainable shooting. You would look at Steph Curry and say that this is unsustainable shooting. So therefore, Devin Booker has to be shorted at this big of a number. And one of the reasons, because Kevin Durant also exists, I have a feeling he will not go down without a fight. But I got a pretty wild one here for the lock. And this is kind of as it stands right now, my favorite play on the board, period. I think Denver really does try to go all out. I understand they can go back to Denver. You don't want to have a game 7 here if you can help it. And they've been competitive here on these road games. They kind of let it slide at the end of that Game 4 it was. Now, having the opportunity to maybe get some rest heading into the playoffs here, we'll see what happens with this Lakers-Golden State game, but they're going to have at least a day head start if that game moves to a Game 6 in LA. I'm telling you, Jamal Murray, he's going to be on the floor an absolute ton. And the last game was probably the first time we've seen him hiccup to a certain extent, but I really like one thing that we've seen from Jamal Murray, and that's his ability to start to gobble up the boards in some of these limited minutes. And I don't mean gobble it up as in he's putting up a ton of them, because that's not true. But he's had 5 or more in 4 of his last 5 within this series. He's going to be on the floor constantly for this Denver team. There's no point guard, no Reggie Jackson coming in there. Bruce Brown will have a couple of minutes absent Jamal Murray, where he comes in for that first stint in the second quarter. But otherwise, you're looking at 40 plus minutes of Jamal Murray. And the one thing that does not project correctly for me in this spot is his rebound prop. 4.5 minus 120. What are we doing here? He averaged 4.1 on the season, but that was in 33.4 minutes per game. You adjust that to 40 plus. You just adjust it to 40 and you project him north of 5. You project it to 42. I have him for legitimately 6.1 rebounds right now. I think it's the best prop on the board. You get over a rebound and a half cushion. All you parlay people, I know you exist. I see you. You walk among us. No shame in that. Good people. Jamal Murray over 4.5 rebounds is a parlay piece for all of you. I bet it outright. It's my favorite play on the board as of right now. Yeah, Philadelphia plus 2.5 feels really good too. But Jamal Murray is going to get those boards for us. May he continue just doing what he's doing. And that does it for another edition of NBA Lindy's Leans, Legs, and Locks. Go to that comment section below. Let me know if I had a great night or a bad night. You usually let me know when I have a bad night. No mercy. No mercy. Marcus Aurelius, a little bit of that. A little gladiator for everybody on the way out. Bet365, don't forget to check them out if you're in one of those 4 great states, Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, because $200 in bonus bets sounds great to me. Sign up, fire it up, good stuff all the way around. All right, y'all. I'll be back for one more day in the NBA streets for Friday. Until then, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Thursday.